Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is episode 525 and I just wanted to do a couple of updates on what's going on behind the scenes. As you will have seen at the end of Mermay, I started to make these patchworky sea backgrounds, and I did all the stitching, got them all down, and then I've gone over each piece with a machine. And it's not meant to be perfect because there's a lot of stuff to fill them up. I'm now at this point where I'm pulling out all of my original just stitches to put them down. And I don't know if anyone else finds it satisfying, but I find it very satisfying to pull them out. The only thing I'm noticing is sometimes the sewing machine has gone over them, so they're not always easy to come out. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with doing all that on camera, but you get the idea. There's loose threads that I'll decide whether I tuck them back in or not. These long threads are what I'm going to have fun pulling out. Except for the ones that got stuck. And that's what I'm going to be doing with this backing. A couple of other things that I'm working on my table. Firstly, now I went out to Woodend and visited my friend Nathan. As you know, if you've been here for any length of time, I had a painting studio out there, and then it got just we had COVID lockdowns, it got hard to get out there, and then I decided I would try and set my own up at home and work from home. It gets very cold out at Woodend, so it's hard to be in the shed, and it also gets very, very hot in summer, so I needed a more year-round environment. So of course I had my room through the COVID lockdown upstairs as the office, and now moved into the garage. Has its own little quirks. Now Nathan is an absolutely fabulous he's a great musician, but he's an absolutely fabulous computer whiz, bit of a computer whiz, and he was playing a bit of music that he had written. And he showed me this chart, and I said to him, you know, the first thing I see is an embroidery and a hoop. So I've printed out this and I will be putting it into a hoop. So I said to him, if someone downloads this, will they be able to play that music? Okay. So it's quite fascinating because this is the way his brain works. But this is actually the first time that we're getting music like this, like a computer chip. And isn't that amazing that the way that he's been able to play stuff in on a keyboard, he's been able to use all these different programs to create, he's into techno, so he basically is writing dance music. But isn't that amazing? I just think that is amazing. I don't know if I wanted this big, but I wanted to print it out so I could have a look. I'm going to take off the web address, but I think Boss Super Overdrive ST1 is a great name. And there's just all these little quirks about it. So it's all line work, and the lines are dark blue. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but they're a dark blue, and then the writing and squiggly bits and all the little, I don't know, little hints or programmable things that are what makes this a bit of music in black. So that is a project I have been working on. Now another project I've been working on, which I'll have to tell Juanette not to look at this until she's opened her present, but I've been working on, I've got a front and a back, and they will be joined with batting in between, and I'll probably cut or round the tops to make them like one great big material tag. for Juanette's. She's got like a Christmas tree, so it's a special birthday. So I wouldn't normally go to a lot of trouble for people's birthdays really, but this one is a special one. I'll let her tell you why that's special. But when she was in Australia, I don't believe she actually ended up getting something for her special tree. So she has a special Christmas tree that sits at her front door, and she always hangs something on it, and it stays up year round, but she hangs something on it for every place she visits in the world. And when she was here, we didn't get anything. I missed the memo that maybe I should have had something prepared, but I thought this would be a nice thing. The other side, there's a kangaroo. Hopefully I can come back at the end of the video to sort of show you it as a finished product, because I'm working on this pretty full on and pretty hard. So just little slow stitch thing. But, however, I got the Sydney, the New South Wales and the koala off a tea towel. And I thought that would be a lovely reminder. And I'm just using a very thick, this is 4 strands, to just do a bit of thread painting on the body of the koala. Bring in a bit more grey because he's a little bit indiscernible. He's got a leaf in his mouth, here's his nose and his eye, but I thought a bit of thread painting might help to bring out his face a bit, because you can see the body and the claws holding onto the branch and the gum leaves really well, but I just felt maybe his face was a little bit, because it's on a bit of an angle and his mouth's here, that's kind of perhaps a little bit weird to understand. So this is what I'm working on behind the scenes as well. Definitely have to tell Juanette not to watch till she gets the present. I'm a bit behind, so she may not get it till she gets back from her birthday trip with her daughter to London. Looking forward to seeing the photos of that. The other thing I'm working on, aside from the background, is, remember I was doing the sand dollars. Now I'm just going to show you the process I'm doing. First off, I got a little bit of that wool blanket that I got from the Recycle Art truck, and I've just been stitching the centre of that all the way around. So it sort of raises up a little bit in the middle. I could probably take the pin out while I'm doing this. Doing a bit of a back stitch. Because sand dollars have a sort of a little patch in the middle there. And actually I found a Sydney guy who loves sea urchins and sand dollars, and I've always loved sand dollars, but I didn't realise they were actually part of the sea urchin family. So I got to watch a few of his little videos, and I was fascinated that they're sort of, I just didn't think sand dollars were actually a real animal, but on top, you can always see on sand dollars all these funny little hairs, and that's actually the feeding mechanism. And if there's no hairs on it, it's dead. But if there's hairs, it's still alive. So we didn't know any of that stuff, I guess, when we were growing up. I just always wanted to find a sand dollar and never really found many. I think I've got one somewhere, but someone gave it to me. Anyway, so basically I am doing a bit to get this bit of blanket down on the back for a bit of extra padding. Then I am putting it on the bit of the blanket. Just got to get it so it's not over the edge. I have finished this one, so I'm going to show you what I do, what the next process is. But I thought I'll show you, I'll work backwards. I'll show you the one I haven't finished, and then you can see the one I'm working on. So from this point, what I started to do was go around all the edges. So by sewing it onto the backing blanket, it's giving it a little bit more of a textural element. And when I've gone around each of the petals or the legs or the bits, whatever they are, when I get up here, I start to go around the edge with little back stitches, which creates a sort of a holy look, because this is a fairly thin linen or cotton. So you can see how it's starting to get a bit of a outer edge design. So this one that I've already worked on, my idea now is to come in, cut all these edges. So I don't mind a little bit of the pink showing while I'm cutting around, because the specimen I used for my drawings was actually that colour. Now, I've only ever seen white sand dollars and they've been dead. So I'm just imagining that that's possibly that there's a lot of colours if they're alive. So I can feel there's a bit of a raised bit in the centre. Next step I'm going to do is a blanket stitch all the way around to really secure those edges so they don't fray too much when they're on. So I'm using a double thickness, and that's because I want a fairly well defined edge, because I'll be stitching it down somewhere on this background once all these panels are done. And I'll finish this one off, and I'll finish this one off, and I'll finish off Juanette's piece, and I will be back. Okay, so I'm just back to finish off Juanette's birthday present for her tree, and just have been doing a blanket stitch all the way around. It's so nice making this little thing. I hope Juanette is going to have a wonderful, wonderful big birthday, celebrating a big year, and a nice trip to London, which will be fabulous. She's never been there before, so I'm sure you will hear all about it on her channel, and she will enjoy a lovely trip with her daughter, who's also having a special birthday. So what a lovely thing to do together. Just getting to the end, and I still haven't quite decided how this is going to be hung. Okay, so here is the finished product. Managed to do a little bit of thread painting on the kangaroo. We've got Australia, Sydney kangaroo on one side, and the koala on the other side, with a bit of thread painting on the body of the koala and the leaves. And New South Wales, because that's where we went. We drove up to New South Wales to do the Roxy's workshop with the Roxy girls. That was a wonderful time. I believe they're coming back. If only we all had a magic money tree in the backyard. Anyway, I'll be trying to do my best to get there. Okay, so I have finished my little sand dollars. I've done a blanket stitch around the edge to hold them so they don't fray too much. I think they're very cute. And I've just grabbed my rock pull, because this backing is going to be probably 4 times this size, And this won't be the bottom right corner, but I am envisaging, so I thought I'd just use it as an example to show you what I'm imagining, that there'll be this couple of sand dollars scattered around. This is actually relatively heavy when I'm feeling it compared to the weight of this. So I'm now thinking, when I've finished my larger piece backing, that it's going to actually have to be quilted, so as it's a lot more sturdy. So it'll be quilted with some, maybe 2 layers of batting in between and a backing, so that when it's hung it can actually hold this without it pulling too much. And also the Mother Mermaid is actually quite large and quite heavy too. So, you know, that's just something future me has to deal with. But this was my idea anyway. This, a sand dollar near it or something, or a sand dollar scattered over here. And Nora brought home, look, Nora works as a cleaner with old people. And aside from the fact that a lot of them have fabulous vegetable gardens or fruit trees, and she comes home every second day with a bag of fruit or giant zucchinis or anything, some of the older ladies occasionally give her a bag of clothes and say, do you want these? If you want them, great. If not, can you please put them at the op shop? And then she hands them to me and says, is there anything in there that you might want to make a project from? So she, in one of the bags was this scarf with these starfish on. So I'm thinking I'm going to cut around a whole heap of these and scatter them as well. So let's just do one, because it's a, I don't know, it's a poly. Let's see. It's not my colour, but also let's see what it is. Polyester viscose. And I just don't like the feel of polyester. I'm not a fan. See if it rips. Not really. So I'm imagining not only will these sand dollars be scattered around at the bottom of the ocean with this, but every so often I'm going to be putting on a little starfish. Let's see if I turn all the edges over like this and stitch that down. I don't want to overdo it. They're quite small sequins, but they've got quite a large hole in the middle, so they're kind of interesting. So there you have it. Okay, I will race off to get Juanette's present in the post. It's already possibly going to arrive while she's in London, so it'll be a nice surprise when she gets home, and I will let her know not to watch this video till she gets back. All right, so that's it for me. I might get a video in before I leave for Sydney. If not, I will come back with a video about my visit to Green Door Studios again, which I love. It's always wonderful. And also some footage of what I get up to in Sydney, which may or may not involve a visit to the sewing basket, I hope, cross fingers. So thank you for coming along, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.